At the heart of the NRL's rivalry round lay the longest-running feud in Australian Rugby League. The Roosters from the east against fellow foundation club South Sydney. Sean Kenny-Dowell was making his 100th first-grade appearance against the same team he debuted against just over 4 years ago. And while the Kiwi Aces duel with Greg Inglis was bound to attract plenty of interest, the early action was on the opposite side of ANZ Stadium when SKD's centre partner grabbed the game's opening try.
Grubbering, a chance for Liddon, who was grabbed, but he will still get there. He scores, and the Roosters tonight will play from in front.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there from the Roosters.
The Tricolours soon tried to forge opportunities on Kenny-Dowell's side. However, this one went to waste when Sam Perrott couldn't reel the final pass in. It took the desperate defensive duo of Todd Carney and Tom Simons to cut Nathan Merritt down inside of the chalk. But Isaac Luke enjoyed a much smoother passage on the following play.
Cropper with him, he doesn't need anybody. Isaac Luke will do it on his own.
With Mitchell Pearce probing away, it seemed inevitable that Kenny-Dowell would mark his milestone with a 4-pointer.
He'll reach out. A lovely pass by Mitchell Pearce.
After breaking the shackles against Penrith the previous weekend, Brian Smith's boys looked more like the outfit that stormed to last season's grand final.
Picked up by Leilua for the corner.
South's cover defence saved them from going further behind at the break, with their deficit remaining at 4. The Chookies had a horrible start to the second term, with successive errors placing them under enormous pressure. After Jake Friend's clearing kick had too much on it, a very tough knock-on call went against Lynette. And the punishment came in the shape of points on South's next set.
Here's Luke coming in. Corrigan drew some attention. Farrell goes to the corner and he steps away from the defence. They're going to check to see who took the corner post. But it looked as though Farrell has scored for the Rabbitohs.
After receiving the blessing from the man upstairs, which squared things up, Chris Sando hoisted the Cardinal and Myrtle colours to the lead for the first time with this sweet conversion.
It never looked like missing.
The Roosters responded with some inspirational defence, pitting their opponents and forcing a dropout, which allowed them to express themselves in attack with some wonderful offloads.
Getting away there from the chase of Crocker. Got back to his knees at least to give it off. It came away from Takurangi. Cutting down for Perrott, who dives for the corner, and the Roosters find themselves back in the lead.
Frank Paul Nuasala showed tremendous courage by surviving this head clash with Shannon McPherson, then coming up with a crucial save on Sando less than 60 seconds later. The big back rower knew his side was in trouble and conceded what could be termed a semi-professional foul. That allowed Sando to make it 14 apiece. However, the Rabbitoh halfback's radar with the boot wasn't so accurate when he found Phil Graham with an ordinary attacking kick. And the Sydney fullback carved them up.
He can't stop him. Here's Mitchell Pearce. He joins in. The Queen is there.
South simply couldn't recover from that, and Perrott pounced a couple of tackles later for his double.
Wera, a shuffle. He looks for Kenny-Dowell. They've got them. Kenny-Dowell for Sam Perrott. He gets his second try of the second half, and the Roosters, they are back in front.
In what had become a brutal local derby, Michael Crocker was the next casualty after mistiming his tackle on fellow Queenslander Nate Miles.
He's got his head
right in the hip there of Miles.
Thankfully, the Rabbitohs skipper regained his feet after being looked at for several minutes and was then jubilant a few sets later when Greg Inglis finished off after some excellent lead-up play.
Looking for Inglis. Here he is! Inglis scores! The main man arrives on the scene just in time perhaps for the Rabbitohs.
Sando slotted the extras and it was 20-20. The last play of regular time wasn't the way the Roosters would have planned it, as it was left to Jason Riles, of all people, to snatch the victory. And they went to Golden Point for the first time since last year's epic qualifying final against the West Tigers. Braithen Astor attempted to emulate his heroics of that memorable evening.
This time the strike is straight but low.
And Nathan Merritt also looked to repeat past deeds.
You can't repeat the dose here against the Roosters.
But after 6.5 minutes of extra time, it was the ever-present South's number 7 who came up trumps.
Sando, 49 metres out. It's a great stroke! Chris Sando from halfway wins the game for the Rabbitohs.
That's exactly what rivalry round is all about. South Sydney sneaking home in a magnificent encounter, 21-20. Giving them the Ron Coote Cup for the first time in 2 seasons. David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.